Okay, guys. So 1 hour of functioning Wi-Fi in this unit is just too good to be true because once again, Xfinity connection failed. It is now 5:30 p.m. on Sunday, May 19th, and the Wi-Fi is once again not working. So this is a hack. There's no reason for the Wi-Fi to suddenly not work. I've had this Wi-Fi service for almost a year and it has never had any service outages at all. Not once. And now it's like cutting out every 2 hours, more like every 1 hour since I called the IT department at Xfinity at 4:30 p.m. and made a video about that. So, you're seeing this happening in real time. This is a remote disabling, connection failed. Xfinity can't figure out what the problem is. They've done everything they possibly can. I've called them 4 times this afternoon and twice yesterday, once on Friday. And when they can't figure out what the problem is, and their IT team does everything they can in their troubleshooting protocol to fix the problem, and they can't fix the problem, then the problem is a hack. Jasmine Arizari is a cyber criminal. She's a psychopath. And I think most hackers are psychopaths. I mean, you kind of have to be a psychopath to hack into other people's devices, steal information, harass people in their address book, find out who they send emails to. I didn't even touch this. Wow. So now it just turned itself back on. Did you just see that happen? I didn't touch the screen and it suddenly turned itself off in terms of the Wi-Fi option and then turned itself back on. The Wi-Fi just turned itself off and then back on. I didn't even touch it. I was just filming it. And the connection still failed. So Irizarry seems to be in the employ of the Greenville Group because Mr. Oleg Alexeyev has not been shy in the past as a property manager to disclose her cybercrime abilities and activities. He even praised her talent at getting into anything. So he might be actually, hiring her or using her services to harass tenants he doesn't like. Mr. Alexeyev has taken 4 legal actions against my tenancy in the last 3 years. That is unprecedented. That is harassment, especially since all of them have had to be dismissed so far. And the one that he currently has in the legal system against my tenancy doesn't hold water legally because it is retaliatory. It was filed just 2 months, actually a month and a half after I had filed complaints against the Greenville Group with inspectional services. So that is retaliatory, and that meets the legal definition of retaliation. Oh, dopey cunt must be the psycho hacker who keeps getting into my devices and remotely disabling them, preventing them from connecting to the Wi-Fi, preventing the Wi-Fi from working. So it's not Xfinity. The problem is not with Xfinity. It is with the hacker who is somehow disconnecting this device from the Xfinity option that it has to connect to Xfinity services. I'm sure if I had the password to some of these other Wi-Fi networks, I'd be able to get in because Xfinity is being blocked from connecting to my device. Okay, so let's try this again. I had shut off the Wi-Fi to refresh it. Now we're going to try to connect Xfinity again. Because I'm paying for it, I should be receiving it on this phone. And this phone has been troubleshot multiple times over the last few hours by several IT help desk personnel at Xfinity Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on, but I keep saying it's a hack. Yeah, there you go. Connection failed. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do what the IT personnel over the phone today told me to do. I am going to create a new network. All right, I'm going to have to put this phone down for this. Okay, so under Add Network, I've just recreated Xfinity Wi-Fi, all lowercase. I have changed the security setting to none. I have disabled hidden network so it's not accidentally connecting to something weird. And metered network, the MAC address, randomized MAC, I'm going to change that to phone MAC and then save. and then see if that helps anything. And if it doesn't, then obviously it's a hack. I mean, this is what the IT help desk personnel at Xfinity told me to do multiple times. This is their protocol for resolving the problem. If this is the best that they have in terms of how to fix the problem, and it still doesn't fix it doesn't fix the problem. So then the problem is not with Xfinity, and it's not with this device. It is with somebody or something that is preventing deliberately this device from connecting to the Wi-Fi in this building. Xfinity Wi-Fi works perfectly well as soon as I go to the store across the street that apparently also has an Xfinity Wi-Fi hotspot or service. But in this building, the connection fails. It's very location specific. So when your internet malfunction is location specific and your phone works just fine on the same network outside of a location, then the problem isn't with your phone, it's with the location. And again, I keep mentioning that there's a cyber criminal named Jasmine Irizarry who has been housed in Unit 78 behind this wall since 2013. Mr. Olesayev, the property manager of this building complex, informed me a year ago in March of 2023 when I physically had an in-person conversation with him about Irizarry. He said she'd been moved out of 78, and then he took me into Unit 78 to show me that it was empty and vacant. And then I said, well, does Jasmine Irizarry still live in this building? He said, yes, but we might move her to the 191 Green Street across the street. We don't know yet. Well, obviously, he never did, because Irizarry not only continues to access the premises of her former bathroom and engage in the same exact pattern of wall slamming, banging, smoke and fume propagation, and electronic assault device use from behind this wall as she did during the 9 years that she lived behind this wall. But she also engages in the same exact pattern of hacking, remote disabling, and electronics tampering remotely as she did during the 9 years that she officially lived in the unit behind this wall. So that is a unique behavioral blueprint that Irizarry regularly displays that nobody else can possibly duplicate exactly. And whoever is behind this wall on a regular basis, smacking things against the wall, causing the water to suddenly stink like feet and like fish when I try to use it to wash my face or rinse out shampoo from my hair or brush my teeth using minty smelling toothpaste. And the water only stinks when I'm like literally trying to rinse my eyes out. She has been doing the same exact thing from behind this wall and against this wall since 2013. 10 years is long enough to gather a very clear picture of her unique behavioral blueprint. And as a psychopath and a cyber criminal, not to mention a sex offender, Irizarry has a very unique behavioral blueprint that nobody else could probably accurately duplicate on a protracted basis. Nobody can act exactly like you all the time unless they are you, folks. And I'm talking to the miserable, no life, low life, hate stalking trolls that make these ridiculous comments on my videos about how I'm delusional and imagining things. No, I'm not. When the police tell you something about someone, that's not your imagination. When detectives tell you something about someone, that is not your imagination. When multiple staffers from the property management company that owns this building and places people such as Irizarry into units in this building tell you something about someone, that is not your imagination, folks. So read it and weep, lowlifes, right? I'm simply repeating what the Boston police have told me multiple times about Irizarry. I'm simply repeating what I saw in the Massachusetts Sex Offender Registry in 2016 as a registered level 3 sex offender with the name Jay Irizarry. Very clearly printed next to a picture of the person who looks exactly like the one who used to live behind this wall and apparently continues to do so. I'm simply reporting investigations that I have conducted that involved discussions with Boston police detectives, discussions with Boston police officers that I called 911 on, or to whom I called 911 for assistance with Irizarry's nefarious activities behind this wall. And what the police officers told me was very interesting. Irizarry has done some bad things. She's not a nice person. I really shouldn't tick her off because she's dangerous. Okay, so I'm just repeating that, folks. You can do whatever you want with that information. I'm relaying the information that was given to me by multiple sources that have nothing to do with me. They're simply just there, right? The Boston police are simply just there. Management is simply just there, right? The sex offender registry in 2015 or 2016 was actually a lot more accessible than it is now. So these pathetic idiots who say that they checked the Massachusetts sex offender registry and they didn't see an irizarry, they didn't actually check it. It's not that easy to check it these days. And that's why when I fact check them on my YouTube channel asking these trolls, well, so how did you actually investigate this irizarry person in the Massachusetts sex offender registry? Did you walk in person? Did you conduct an online search? Did you make the request in writing? They're doxing the fact that they're completely lying and making up stories because you can't just check the sex offender registry, you pathetic idiots. And you keep doxing your own lies on my channel.